Hi.
Hey.
How are
Hi,
you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I just have to say, if you hear a really strange noise, I've got squirrels in my loft.
That is the best strange noise I've ever heard.
So it's really weird though. So yeah, if you hear it, I haven't got like goblins or something. I've got squirrels in my loft.
So I just want to say congratulations, second season of Sandylands. How are you
Thank
feeling about
you.
it?
Yeah, great. It's it just feels really exciting. I feel really lucky that we got to do it again amidst a major pandemic and everything else that was going on. So the fact that we even got to film it just felt like a real joy. So I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't wait for you to see it again. It's the same humor, same emotion, same like great acting. So it's really exciting for I can't wait for the audience to see it as well.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I feel the same. And I think and obviously we've got sort of new people this year as well, because we've got Tracy Ann Oberman, who's playing my mum as well. So I'm really excited to see what the audience think about having a whole family unit together now.
Yeah, absolutely. I was wondering if we could just kick off before we get into like the nitty-gritty of it. If you could just explain where your character is at the beginning of season 2, where she's just come from, and what's happened and transpired. Just a bit of a refresher for people.
Yeah. So Emily Verma has been very much pulled into her dad's drama of faking his own death. So at the minute, we've sort of last seen her trying to get away from the insurance people, and basically trying to figure out how she's going to manage to juggle her dad plus the rest of the world. So it's a classic spinning plate situation of every plate that's there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great kind of like straight character role. She's surrounded by all these kind of bonkers characters, including her own parents.
Yeah.
What drew you to playing this person?
I guess I could empathize quite a lot with her. I also grew up in Devon, so I sort of I know what it feels like to travel to London, and everything's really exciting and you're finding your new self, and then you're trying to figure out how to be that version of your new self back at home. And then it's really hard, it's really hard when you're in that cusp of growing up and figuring out who you are. And so I really identified with that side of Emily of just thinking London was brilliant, and being really excited about smashed avocados and like all of that. And but there's something grounding about going home where everybody who knows you has known you from so young that they really sort of really put a dampener on all that, and very quickly are like, I know who you are. And there's something great about that, because you can't really pretend. So I was really drawn to that. And I think for me as well, for just the characters that I've looked at, it was such a well-rounded character. And I think to play a part, especially that's it wasn't necessarily about race, which was great for me, because obviously I get a lot of that in my casting, and it was actually just about warmth and joy and laughter. And I was really really glad when I read it, and I just laughed. I really thought it was very funny straight off the bat.
It's definitely very funny, and as you mentioned, it's quintessentially British. I think any person growing up, especially in like the 90s and the early noughties, with that, like we're going to a big city and then coming back home, that's like the kind of British feel to it, as well as the British feel of bonkers seaside town.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing quite like it.
There is nothing quite like it, and each seaside town I think has its different weirdness about it.
Yeah, 100%. And also but there's something so liberating about that, because everybody's exactly who they want to be. You sort of can't hide at the seaside.
Hide at the seaside. That needs to be a slogan for a seaside town.
Just get loads of t-shirts.
You can't hide at the seaside.
but you can't, because like, I don't know what people really want to do, like, whether they want to search for gold or be metal detectorists or eat all the candy floss, whatever that is. You get to live out that childish part of yourself. And I think there's something great about Sandylands as well, because it just makes you feel 18. Like, it just feels, and I've said this before, but it does feel like that GCSE summer where everything's a bit heightened and you haven't really got much responsibility, but everything's just like epic.
Oh yeah, kind of like that. You know, you want it to be like Sugar Rush and Skins, but it's a bit more like you're just a kind of drunk putting 2p's into like the arcade game.
So determined.
So determined to win that piece of tat that you could have brought.
I know, but it's so addictive. Like, I love a 2p machine.
I love it too. I'm the same. I will. And I will be like, do you know what? I'm going to walk away, but I'll walk away and then come back around.
Yeah, and you get, do you know, I'm just going to do one more round, guys. Just one more before we head off.
That's fine. I was like, it's a scam. It's like, no, but I can do it.
I can cheat the system.
Figured it out.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But yeah, no, again, and I do definitely think the show really captures that kind of. It still feels warm and homely though, like even though it's weird and wonderful and wacky. You know, the B&B, the you know, the piers, the sands, the, you know, that kind of distant seagull, it just feels like home.
Yeah, very much so. And I think you're totally right. I think what Martin and Al have done brilliantly is they've, as you say, they've kept that warmth, but it coincides with the bonkers, so you get both versions. So obviously, you know, Derek and Jeannie in their B&B are just in another planet, but also Jeannie's so loving. Like, if she could mother me, she would. I mean, she's so ready to take on that role, so there's something really lovely about that.
Oh, it's so good. So obviously the big task is to develop these different relationships with these different people, and for obviously starting off with your dad by Sanjeev. So how is it, because it's a love-hate relationship from the get-go.
Very, very much so. Just love to hate him. No, it's wonderful with Sanj, because he's such a cheeky person anyway. I feel like he would get away with murder because he's got such a lovely smile that you're a bit like, oh, do you know what, it's fine. But I think you totally get that with Emily as well. Like, she's so infuriated by him because he can't help but put himself in trouble. But she just thinks he's brilliant as well. Like, she just does love him and finds it very difficult to remove herself from him.
Yeah, it's kind of like she's so attracted to his kind of outrageousness and the journeys that he goes on. She's like, oh God, why are you doing this? But also it's kind of exciting for her.
Yeah, but also she's still there. Which I always think she hasn't jumped on that train.
She's still a pedalo in the sea.
Exactly. So it's that weird sort of partner in crime thing that I think it is, you know, he's her bae in that sort of sense. It's like, it's forever. She'd go off the cliff for him.
Yeah, it's so wonderful. And what I love about the opening episode of season 2 is that you kind of think that, oh, okay, maybe the mum would have some sort of like sense, and then Tracy Ann comes in, and as your character mentioned, she's a bit like Miss Piggy.
Yeah, I mean, as glamorous for sure.
She's glamorous. She's like over the top, and she's all about like the money and the fame. So how did that affect Emily and her, like, kind of growing up, and her relationship with her dad, who is also still in love with her mum?
I mean, so much so. I mean, they're like teenagers. It was really interesting, and I think, as you say, because you sort of hope that mum will be the saving grace, but actually it sort of just adds to the chaos in her own way. And I think it's a bit of a strange one for Emily to begin with, because from being, you know, her and her dad being the group, then mum's back, and mum and dad clearly have this weird sexual friction thing that she can't compete with that. And they are Thelma and Louise. They are that sort of gang. So I think for Emily, it sort of makes her get a bit more straight, because somebody's got to play parent.
Yeah.
Otherwise, nothing will get done. There's no food in the house. Everything's messy. Like, I think she just wouldn't get anything done.
They kind of remind me of like a lovable Wormwood, you know, from Matilda, like that kind of like trying to scheme and scam, but they're kind of lovable.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I totally agree. And also because Donna's so fabulous, and I think
she's so fabulous. Like, when she's just doing the high kick, and she's just on all the time.
I mean, she's exactly who you'd want at a party. I think if she wasn't Emily's mum, she'd be thrilled to see her in any room. It's just because she's her mum.
Yeah, obviously. And obviously there's a bit where you're like, where you say to them, they're just the worst parents alive. How do you think having these two kind of permanent adolescent parents.
Yeah.
As they're like, as her parents, how has that really shaped her worldview?
I guess it makes her the sensible one, but I also think in terms, I sort of see it more with Nathan more than anybody, but I find that quite interesting because she hasn't yet really lived out her crush life. Like, I think, and I've said this to somebody else, but if I'd love to see Nathan and Emily actually get a dinner together, just like go for a little date somewhere, Pizza Express, doesn't matter, like just have a solid hour of being able to hang out, because I think all the other influence of her parents, she just doesn't get that time. Like, she just doesn't get that time to go, oh God, I wonder what I would wear to a date. And I wonder what, we would talk about. And Harriet Webb's character, Tina, does brilliantly at trying to allow her that side of herself. But I think she needs sort of guidance with actually how to be, in your 20s.
Yeah. So in a strange way, it's almost like she gets hooked into her parents' shenanigans because she's afraid of being that kind of like single girl looking for love kind of.
Yeah, and I think living your own life, sometimes it's easier, isn't it, to invest in somebody else's life than to really look at your own.
Especially when it's your parents, because you can be like, do you know what, I'm going to sort my mum and dad out.
Yeah.
Everyone understands that. No one's going to be like,
goes, oh yeah, that's tough. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to have to put off my own life for another couple of years.
They'll look after it. Then you're like, oh, good old you. It's like, well,
Old Mother Teresa over here. Yeah, totally that.
And you have wonderful chemistry with Simon Bird on screen. What is it like working with him on this kind of like,
It's such a dream. He's so funny and just lovely. And I think obviously, it's quite intimidating going onto that sort of set because everybody's a great comedian in their own right. Everybody, we all know their work and we all know how good they are. And so it was quite, I was a bit daunted in terms of, I don't see myself as naturally funny as those people, but he was so warm and funny, and especially this series, I've got to spend more time with him and Harriet together, and because we were working in a pandemic, we spent a lot of time having dinners out when it was crapping with rain, when you weren't allowed to eat inside. So we just naturally bonded together really well and played lots of crazy golf. And he's fantastic. He's so funny and quick-witted that it's been a dream.
Oh, that's amazing. I was going to ask whether the pandemic kind of added to the surrealist nature of the
100%
TV show during the season 3, because it is still a weird time, right now.
It's also weird trying to have a nice time when you're freezing outside eating a plate of carbonara. Like, it's really weird because you're sort of pretending you're not cold for 2 hours. Especially with people you don't like. They're obviously good friends, but like it's a strange thing where you're sort of making the best. However, because we'd obviously had about 18 months of not working and not being with any groups of people, we just went mad. Like, it just felt like it was an over-sensory stimulus of people and giggling and sugar, and so it just felt like being in, like, do you remember Pontins?
Pontins, yeah.
So it was a bit like Pontins, but like bigger. So like it was that vibe of sort of adult playpen, of like just being like, oh my god, and we can like hang out past a certain time and talk to other people and laugh at different jokes that you'd not heard. Like, it was just, it was great, like really great.
Oh, and it does really come through that you're just really close with everyone, and everyone's sort of working off each other's energy because you're just so excited to be back in Sandylands.
Yeah, and I think the writing helps with that. It's sort of, because obviously we take the work seriously as well, but like there is something quite joyous about the freedom of having fun. Like, I think sometimes, obviously there was a lot of darkness in the world at that point, so I think any sort of fun we just totally like grabbed onto. And so I think for me especially, I felt incredibly lucky to come out of that time of isolation to suddenly just be like friends, just loads of pals, which was amazing. I wish I could say something other than it was amazing, but it just was.
I was like, damn, dish the dirt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. I was about to Without trying to give anything away in season 2,
Mhm.
are there anything that we should look out for in like Emily's journey? Is it all about to go a bit more like haywire, or is it going to get calmer? I mean, I know the answer.
Yeah, sure. I think it's haywire is a great word.
Yeah.
I think it's haywire, but I hope that people enjoy spending a bit more time with the relationships, because obviously we've set that all up now. It just feels really nice to have a moment to go, oh, okay, so this is how we interact more. And I think seeing the relationships with friends as well as within the family, I hope that everybody just invests a bit more and goes, okay, all of this is now making sense. Like if this is Emily's mum and dad, this makes sense. And this, so hopefully it'll start to piece together a few more bits as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right and think like, oh no.
Yeah, majorly that for a long time.
I'm hoping she does get some nicer, freer moments in the upcoming episodes. She
gets some moments, yeah. She definitely gets some moments. Also, I don't want to give anything away, so I won't say.
Don't want to give anything away. I tell you what, if you can't give anything away, maybe like 3 words of what's coming up, like 3 key words.
Okay. Crazy. Sequins. 80s.
Amazing. If that doesn't sell it, and the tagline, you can always hide at the seaside.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people
I don't know what will.
I know.
I give up. Trying to give the people what they want.
I know. And if you don't like sequins, then
don't at me, okay? Don't at me.
Well, you have been an absolute pleasure to talk to.
Thanks,
this has been a great conversation.
Totally brightened up my day. I was filled with
really
anxiety
glad.
with the squirrels this morning, so this has completely chilled me out.
Oh, I'm really glad, and I hope you get your hot chocolate and maybe less squirrel action.
Hey, I'll take whatever action's there. I'll do, whatever.
It's a good icebreaker, I found. I might just use that more often.
Yeah, just use it. Have it.
Take
it for your dates. Take it for anything.
There's squirrels in my loft.
A couple of squirrels up in my loft.
Well, thank you so much. Good luck with the second series. I cannot wait to see what Emily goes on, the journey she takes.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Sarah. Lovely to speak to you.
Lovely to speak to you too. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey You